I thought about different things I wanted to share with you this morning. And I'm going to be using the whiteboard. So if you're over this way, you might want to come over this way. I swear, if I spit on you, I've been vaccinated. I don't have any diseases that they can identify. So only a couple people caught that last one. Okay. So first of all, yeah, and guys, please come in this way. It's a small group. Let's really, let's be close. We're friends here, You've only got me for an hour. I've got to fly out here to BC this afternoon, but I want to make it a good hour. And I bought you guys pizza, so you're going to have pizza too, so at least that's happening. See, it's good enough reason to be here, I suppose. First of all, congratulations on your new office. It's awesome. And I hope you guys see it the way I see it as a business builder. When you finally get a space like this, it's easier to build because it legitimizes what you're doing. In the financial services world, what companies that recruit a lot are the MLMs, the Primericas, World Financial Groups, and things like that. And they built that principle, but we're not an MLM. And I'm not, listen guys, most of you guys know my background. I was with Primerica. I made $1 million a year there, so I'm not knocking anything. Yeah, I made $1 million a year there, but for like 7 years straight. So my income didn't go up and down. And I sold that business in 2012. I share that with you for one reason, is that the advantage here, and God love Primerica, again, it changed my life. When you recruit people to Primerica, you have to re-recruit them about 47 times because they Google it, their friend tells them something. Where in Combine, you don't have that, and we're not an MLM, so you don't have that stigma. And again, I'm not knocking it, so please understand what I'm saying. But I really want to talk to you about a little bit about our compensation, about why you want to build, and how do you move your business on a dime, okay? So the first thing you guys got to understand, the most important thing you got to understand, the most important thing is how many people do you have on a list? It's the most important thing. See, in traditional businesses, when you rent a space, a warehouse, you have inventory, yeah? Whatever it is, it's some sort of inventory. Your inventory is the number of names and numbers in a document, period. And the next thing you got to understand is you got to follow up until people buy or die. Okay, it's that simple. You just never give up on the follow-up game because you never know. Some of my biggest recruits that ever worked for me, and clients as well, were people I had to follow up with for 6 months, a year, one guy 2 years. And it's worth it. It's a phone call. Are we that busy? You can't make a phone call to keep the business rolling. Does that make sense? So that's the first thing, is how many people are on your list. The next thing you got to understand is, and this is what is most important, why do you have all these people on a list, and how do you work it, right? What does that look like? Because it's paramount that you know why you do anything you do. I was originally mentored by a woman named Frances Averett, and it was great to be mentored by a woman initially, because men and women think very differently. Women are very structured in business, if they're going to be in business, because they have to be, because unfortunately, although we have more equality and things like that, women still take care of the house, they still take care of the kids, and men are still one-line focused. Okay, I can pick on the men, right? So if the men are mad at me, too bad. But we know this. So first of all, why do you have this list? Because this list leads to everything, right? It leads to your potential sales, and it also leads to your potential recruits. Recruits are the lifeblood of our business. Do you understand that? And I'm going to show you how, under our system that I created, to build a business here, it could become a perpetual, never-ending machine if you build it appropriately. But the first thing you need to master is this: the ability to handle a transaction. First question I want to ask you guys, let's say we were one-on-one, I'd ask you, what is your belief system about our products? Now initially people go, oh yeah, I love them, they're great. But do you? And do you own everything you should own that you can afford? I'm not here to get everybody to buy more policies, don't misunderstand me. All I'm saying, I've never sold something I didn't own exponentially. So when I was in Primerica, I paid $1,800 a month for life insurance. They sold life insurance, and I owned millions of dollars worth of it. My policies never lapsed. They never went down. Because, see, I look at my business as more important than my home. See, this is the next mistake. You guys think you work for Combined. You're incorrect, okay? This goes back over here. You are self-employed. This is yours. You own it. You might go, but Ray, I don't really own it. Yeah, you do. Anything you build, you own. If you open a convenience store today and rent the commercial space, you still own that business even though you don't own the business. You get it? It's yours. Do you get the discernment there? And see, the challenge is we come in here and we go, yeah, but it's not really. I get paid a commission. Yeah, but every time you recruit somebody, you're creating distribution. You understand that? So if we understand our model, which I go through frequently, but I'm going to do it here. When I recruit somebody, this is how I recruit them. I explain that we have two parts to our business. We have sales and we have distribution. How many people have seen this presentation? Show of hands. This is a problem. This is the easiest way to recruit in the world because when I interview somebody, it's 15 minutes and they're already filling out their PRQ. 99% of the time. Because I'll show you why. It's easy. So I sit down with Joe Smith. My interview, just so you guys know, I'll give it to you so you can make notes of this. I spend the first 3 to 6 minutes asking questions. How long you lived in the area? What do you do for a living? What did you used to do? What do you like about it? Are you married? Do you have children? Do you have a family? What's important to you? What are your goals? What are your dreams? Most people, when they do an interview in our company, they're too busy talking about our company. Nobody gives a crap. If I was going to hire you and pay you $100,000 a year on a salary, do you ask me questions about the company? No. You ask me questions about the position. What am I doing for $100,000 a year? Do I have to kill people? Because I want 150 if I have to kill people. I won't do that for 100, right? See, some of you guys are laughing because you had those interviews, so you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so then the next part is, so Joe Smith, I ask all these questions. I say, great, Joe, let me explain how our business works. And I draw this on a piece of paper, guys. I go, there's a sales side of our business and distribution side of our business. And then I'll say to Joe, I'll go, Joe, listen, do you want to be in commission sales? What will Joe say? No. Perfect. I've already dealt with objection number 1. Because I said, do you want to be? He says, no. I go, great. Totally understand how you feel. Felt that way myself. Here's what I found out. Feel, felt, found. You guys got all that? Right. So let me explain, though, Joe, how this side works. There's 3 ways we market our products. 1, we have what we call lead cards and assignments for existing clients. If you're full-time in our company, I know Angie's agency doesn't use a lot of lead cards. If you're full-time in this company, you can get lead cards, just so you know. Just talk to me about it, I'll give them to you. But that's an existing client. Number 2 is warm market and referrals. Yes, we all know this. And 3, I don't say cold canvassing, I say business to business, which is cold canvassing. Okay? So I'm sitting with Joe, I go, Joe, this is how we make our money. But let me explain something because I know you don't want to be in commission sales, but just so you understand. When you go out and help a family, if they're a new customer to our company, you're going to get paid a 70% commission of what they pay annually. He'll go, okay, what does that mean? I'll go, well, simple. If a family buys a plan for $83 a month, I didn't say you sell them insurance. You got that? If they buy a plan for $83 a month, times that by 12, that's $1,000 per year. We'll give you gross commission 70% of that. So you make $700, Joe, for approximately 1 to 2 hours work. Joe, let me ask you a question. Would you agree that that's great compensation? Yes, now Joe wants to be in commission sales. He just didn't tell me yet. But he agreed this is good money. Guys, listen. If somebody didn't do this right with me, I'd still be running a gas station and hating my life. I'm teaching you how verbiage is so important in our business because we can change people's lives, guys. Okay? So I go, but this is what I call, Joe, the short-term way to make a living. You know, because you already said you don't really want to be in commission sales. I'm validating again. He goes, yeah, you're right. I go, but you do agree if you could work 2 to 4 hours and gross $700 in commission, that would be better than what you're doing right now. Yes. So now we have an agreement. The other side is, it's very simple. We have a couple contracts. We have a sales rep, we have a sales leader, and a district leader. And we're looking for people that want to expand. But let me talk about sales rep. This is a sales rep over here, Joe. Everybody starts here. But we actually have a program, Joe, where we like to help fast start somebody's career. If I could show you, Joe, how to potentially hear the words, and I know you're recording me, so good, potentially get a $5,500 bonus to fast start your career, would you be interested in that program? How many people did somebody ask you that when you joined?
No.
This is why I made $1 million a year, and I never cold canvassed, I never prospected, and I never door knocked. Ever. I 3-foot rule recruited, which I'll talk about, but I never did that because when I sat down with people, I gave them a reason to work here. You want to know why people are going to work here? Because they have a reason to, not because you're very good at what you do. No offense. Okay, verbiage is important. You'll lose people early on with the wrong verbiage, right? If you say the wrong things, if you use words like sale, commission, insurance, when you use the word commission, you use it to give it to take it away, to give it to take it away. Just so you guys understand. So, here's what I'd like to do then, Joe. So if I can show you how to get a $5,500 bonus, that would be important to you? Joe says yes. Guess what I'm going to ask Joe next? What would you do with that money? And I want to know. If he says, take a trip. Where? Who's going with you? How long? Is this something you always wanted to do? I'm going to have him own what he wants. You know what I know about people? You guys know this about people because you're people? Just making sure you're staying with me. Is that you want what you want, and here's what I've learned about broke people, rich people, skinny people, chubby people, tall people, short people. You know what I learned about them? When you want something, you're going to figure out how to get it. It don't matter what it is. Love my sister, but she's always broke. And I always go to her house, and there's always pizza boxes at her house. How can you be broke and order pizza? Because she wants a pizza. Do you get it? She doesn't want to save money. She doesn't want to pay off her credit card. She wants a pizza. I know I'm going to a very low denominator, but what about people that buy cars they can't afford, houses they can't afford, wives they can't afford? I don't know. I'm kidding. I don't want to offend anybody, but they're really expensive when they leave. It's kind of funny, right? Unless you're me. So then I say to Joe, listen, this is simple, Joe. What I'm going to do before you leave today then, I'm going to get 6 referrals from you, and I will try to bring them in our business. And if they join, go to class, hit some requirements, we're going to give you a $5,500 bonus just for referring other people that might want to change their life. Yeah, that's how it works. You could be a sales rep here, field recruit 6 people, they go to class, come out of class, and they do 1 sale for $500 a year. You get the first level of the commission. There's different levels. So that would be $3,400 for 6 people. Yeah? You didn't know this?
No.
That's Irish for I'm confused. Okay. So I now have sold them on why he's doing this. And why do you think... Okay, guys, so in my business in Primerica, I recruited 10,000 people in 10 years. In Primerica, again, Google them. It's like people go, I don't want to work here. Then I got to fix it, and I got to fix it. How did I recruit 10,000 people? Because I sold them on what they wanted, not what I wanted. Hey, here's a little note. Great leaders identify what the person wants and helps them get it. That's what great leaders do. Other people use people. I'm not big on that. I believe in God. I don't put on that on anybody. All I know when they snap my lights out, here's what I know for sure. If God asks me this question and says, how do you think you did? I'm going to say, I did awesome. I was a good guy. I never hurt anybody intentionally, and I always gave to others. If that's the only question that gets asked, I know for me, I did good. That's all you want to know, no? Right? So good. But I also say, Joe, great news is, Joe, this could fast track your career to become a sales leader. If you have 6 people under you that do 1 of these per week, Joe, that's basically a $1,500 a week override commission for managing people. Joe, let me ask you a question. Do you want to make $1,500 a week on other people or $700 a week on yourself? Joe goes, I want to make $1,500 on other people. Joe then is now recommitted. He's given me 6 names. Joe wants to take his family on a trip. Joe wants to make $1,500 a week. Joe, let's go a little further. If you want to become a district leader, Joe, we get 10 people active. They all do this once a week. You now make $3,500 a week. Let me ask you another question, Joe. Do you want to make $3,500 a week on other people, $1,500 a week on other people, or $700 yourself? I want to do this. Now you found yourself a leader. True or false? You want to know how easy it is to get recruits now? Want to know the easiest thing in the world? So your name again?
Paul.
Paul. So Paul and I are in Tim Hortons. And you know Tim Hortons, there's going to be a lineup. Okay? Just go to one in the morning. So Paul and I are in a lineup. I never go to drive-thrus, by the way. I go where people are all day long. See, recruiting is a process. It's not an event. You don't put in your calendar recruiting from 3 to 4. That's ridiculous. What, so the rest of the day, if you find a good recruit going, if this was 3 o'clock, I would have got that guy's name, you know. But right now, I'm not recruiting. Is that right? You get it? Right, okay. So Paul and I are standing. Paul's in front of me. And I go, man, can you believe how busy it is in here? Just play this out with me, Paul.
Yeah, it's pretty busy.
Done. I'm getting his name. If Paul would have went, yep, and one worded, I'm done. But he went, yeah, it's pretty busy. Do you work in the area?
No, actually.
Oh, what do you do for a living?
I'm an insurance broker.
Wow. You've been doing it for a while?
About a month.
Yeah, you enjoy it?
Do I enjoy it?
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what's funny? I'm working with this couple, Tony and Angie. They've been in the insurance industry for about 2.5, 3 years, making $1 million a year. Could you imagine being trained by them?
Yeah.
Be pretty cool, right?
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool.
Hey, I don't know if you keep your options open because I know you're just new to it like I am, but if you give me your name and number, I'd have Angie call you. You got to take a call from this woman. She's incredible.
Okay. Sure.
I completely took it away from me. If he goes, is it more commission? Is it what product? I go, talk to Angie. Every other answer now is talk to Angie. Talk to Angie. Talk to Angie. Talk to Angie. How many times a day could you do that? 24 hours a day. Now, here's the good news. So Paul comes in, and this is the secret to my system that made me all my money. You guys want the secret of how I've made $30 million in the past 30 years? Here's the secret. I did what nobody does. I asked for 6 personal references unrelated to you. So assuming I recruited Paul, hey Paul, listen, this is Ray. We're confirmed for tomorrow at 3, and he says yes. I go, can you bring 6 personal references unrelated to you, so if you go forward with this, I can do some background checks? Sure. That's normal, yeah? If you went for a regular job interview, would you give personal references? Okay, now do you guys want to go chasing names, or you want people to bring them to you? Good, you answered the right. You guys are good. You get pizza now. Okay. Because if it was wrong, I get 30 pizzas. Okay. So Paul comes in, he brings his 6 personal references, not related, right? You know that's important. So Paul likes it. I do this with Paul. I go, Paul, does it sound good? He goes, yeah. I go, a couple things I want to do. This is all this is, guys. This is 15 minutes. And I say, Paul, why don't we fill out this form? It's a background check. I got to make sure that you're okay to work here, you know, criminal record, credit check, stuff like that. We'll do that today. And in the interim, I'll grab those 6 personal references, okay? Okay, great. So then Paul leaves, but before he leaves, I'm going to have Paul send a text to those 6 people. And the text will be very simple. Hey, Bob, I just met with, he'll probably do it to all of them. So, hey, I just met with this gentleman, Raymond Young. He'll be calling you to do some reference checks on me. Say nice things about me, laugh out loud. I will have him text all 6 of those people. Because you know what I learned? If you phone somebody that doesn't know your phone number, they don't answer you. True or false? This isn't 1970 where there's one phone in the kitchen with a 40-foot yellow cord. You guys grew up in my house. And like you could decapitate your sister because the cord's so long, because I tried a few times, but she always lived. But right? Because when I grew up as a kid, if the phone rang, everybody else went, I got it! I got it! True or false? For people that are like my age, right? But now, your phone rings, somebody goes, don't touch it! Dude, I don't know that number! Not taking it. Right? How different our world is today. Right? So, I get Paul to text his people. Then I take the list from Paul, and I text them. Hey, it's Raymond Young calling from Combined Insurance. A friend of yours, Paul, gave your name as a reference. When's a good time to contact you? How good is that for my calendar? They're going to tell me when to call them. I'm not going to try to call them and not get you and leave a message and have you not take my call. You're going to text me back and go, 2 o'clock today, tomorrow, never, whatever, right? Get it? So, the recruit texts 6 people, then you as the leader text the 6 people, right? And then I make the call. Here's the call. I'll say, Paul, you got a reference check from Angie. Hey, Paul, how are you? It's Ray Young calling from Combined. This still a good time?
Sure.
Here. Hey, how long have you known Angie for? Just make it up. In what capacity? Did you work with her, friends, kids?
Reference.
Yeah, so that's good. And so if you only know her a few months, do you know her to be an outgoing person? Yeah, good personality?
Yeah.
Angie's going into financial services. Could you see her doing something like that?
Yes.
You think she's trustworthy based on what you know so far?
I have to really dig into it.
Yeah, but at this point, you'd say so?
Yeah.
So far, they're all positive, right? Sounds to me like Angie's got pretty good credibility with you in a short period of time. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And the truth is, most people won't give a reference that's only 2 months anyways. They would have given them like somebody they've known for 5, 7, 10 years.
Yeah.
I go, one last question I want to ask you. Angie's got to go to a certification program with us. You know what I didn't say class? Nobody goes to class if I recruit you. You go to certification program. You want to know what people don't want to do? They don't want to go to school. I quit school in grade 10 for a reason. And when I joined them, they said I had to go to school. I wanted to die because I don't want to go to school. I quit school. There's a reason I quit school. I'm not good at it. Anyway, so it's a certification. Certifications are easier than class. Right? It's all semantic. So she has to go to the certification program. Would she have enough credibility with you if you're under no obligation to help her get a certification? Come over, do a little presentation. You don't have to buy anything, nothing like that. Just give her your opinion. Of course. Guess what I just booked for Angie? Her first PAL appointment for her PAL week. I go, great. Hey, one other part of that, just so you know, Paul, she'll be with a professional trainer. And if there's, is there any reason, write this line down. You can use it for everything. You can use it on your spouse. It's really good. If your spouse is here, don't do it. But if they don't know about this training, use it, right? Is there any reason that if it was in your best interest to do business with our company, that you wouldn't? It's impossible to say, no, I wouldn't do business with you. Think about the kitchen table. You're with Joe and Nancy. Is there any reason tonight you wouldn't want to go forward with this plan? You've just dealt with all the objections. True or false? They have to answer. It demands an answer. If they go, I don't think we want to invest the money. Great, totally understand how you feel. I felt that way myself. What I found out is that people that don't invest in protection are the ones that actually people have to do fundraisers for. Do you want people to do a fundraiser for you if you get sick or injured? Or would you rather take care of your own family? Right? Okay? Yeah, that's why I tell you people should record me because I go very fast. So then, good. So Paul then says yes. I call Angie up. Angie, great news. Called your 6 references. I got your 6 first appointments and I booked them tentatively, guys. You're lucky you're in Alberta because most people leave class with their license. So if I know Angie's going to school on the 23rd, I know by, I'm guessing the dates, August 10th, she'll have a license. I make a tentative appointment with Paul for August the 11th. So her PAL week's already booked with 6 new face, warm market appointments. And you know what Angie had to do? Nothing. And I go, Angie, great news. All 6 of them said yes. Remember I showed you that little thing where you could make like 700 to 1 to 2 hours work? She said, yeah. I go, I just set up for your first week, potentially $3,500 in income for your first week, Angie. That's why when I put somebody in class, they go to class. Because they have something to lose if they don't go. Guys, questions about this?
How'd you get to 3,500?
7 times, well, I usually consider 5 will close. That's how. That 700 gross commission, because always somebody's going to say no.
But you never show them like the 4 needs analysis, like the 4 questions, needs analysis, plan.
What's that? I'm being silly, but I'm not. Less is more.
But the way we've been trained, like in sales school and stuff like that, is like door-to-door knocking, and it's like you got to show them the plan. You got to show them the plan. You got to get in the door to show them the plan, because if you don't show them the plan, it's like.
I hate that you're recording me, but I'm going to say it anyways. Those who can't do. Thank you. I can sell anything to anybody. Hit me with any objection. I already know it because I've done this for so long. I can communicate with anybody. Do you notice I have no scripts here? I don't need them. I have them all memorized. What I did is I went and saw, there was a trainer, he's still around, Tom Hopkins, doesn't matter. And I sat in his boot camps. He's a really pushy sales guy. I don't like pushy salespeople, not at all. But I took a lot of his verbiage and things like don't say sale, don't say commission, don't say, and I took all that stuff and I sat in front of a mirror literally for probably 40 hours doing presentations for myself. The first thing you're going to learn is you look like an idiot. I don't care who you are when you first do it, you don't realize you're picking your nose. The stuff you do, because we all have nervous things. So as a public speaker, I'm a professional public speaker. I think you guys can probably tell that now. They're usually thinner, but I just really like burgers. That's not funny. I thought you sat front row. I thought we were. Anyways, when people are nervous public speakers, they do this. They do this. They do this. They're doing something to distract from the discomfort. I have no discomfort, right? Why don't I have discomfort? Because I practiced and I practiced and I practiced. I practiced public speaking. But first I practiced my presentation, which is a form of public speaking. You know, in sales school, they teach you a joke. You know why they teach you a joke? Yeah, and it's a real thing. I may not use the joke. I'm funny anyways. I make my own jokes. But you understand what I'm saying? It's so important to relate to the person as a person. See, in this company, a lot of people wear suits, ties. I'm not doing that. So when I used to own 5 gas stations for a living before I went into financial services. So quick synopsis of my life. 18 years old, self-employed, age 25, cash millionaire, 5 houses, 5 gas stations, age 28, bankrupt, going through divorce, moved back in with my mom with 3 children, age 33, cash millionaire again. Okay? So I think I got it figured out. So that was it's a long story, okay? We're just gonna go with a very short one for today. Anyway, so going back to that, what I figured out through all this process in time is that you can learn anything. You can learn anything. I'm an auto mechanic. I'm a Class A auto mechanic. I dropped out of high school, as I mentioned. I wasn't actually kidding about that. And my dad said, get a job or I kill you. And he owned a repair garage. I go, hire me. Then you won't have to kill me. And that's basically what happened. That is honestly the long and short of it. And I became an auto mechanic, hated every minute of it. Ended up in the automotive industry anyways, gas stations, because it was a family business and it made me wealthy. Didn't mean I liked it. You get it? And then I got recruited into financial services because I went through bankruptcy, divorce, and all that stuff. And I joined because of the environment. I needed some PMA in my life. I mean, I needed to go to meetings where somebody was fun and good, right? And as soon as I got into it, I realized if you can get people to laugh and stuff like that, you drop your guard. But when I was in my gas stations, I had a financial planner from Investors Group. And this guy would come over on a Saturday. I'm cutting my grass, playing with my kid. You know, I'm sweating and I'm gross. And he shows up in a $4,000 suit. Well, that was to intimidate me. Truthfully. He'd come in and I felt like I was stupid. And you know what I learned? He's right where he was 30 years ago. And in that time, I've made $20-30 million. You know? And guys, I've been broke multiple times. Guys, please don't, when I tell that, when I can't tell the whole long story because of the amount of time I have today, I don't want everybody to go, oh, he's so arrogant. Bullshit. Man, I pawned stuff to feed my children for 2 years of my life, right? I pawned stuff to get formula and diapers. You know, I drove a car that had no floors in it. Like, no floors. When I was recruiting you, Paul, you get my car and go, we're going to die. I go, yeah, but we're going to get rich. Well, get a floor first, you know? It was just ridiculous. And then when I finally moved out of my mom's house, I moved in this area. I live in Ontario, in Oshawa, and it's like south end of Oshawa, the GM plant is. It's like you got to wear Kevlar down there. It's terrifying. Like, they don't need streetlights. There's just police covers hover around your house all night looking for drug dealers. That's where I lived. So I try to recruit you and bring you over for barbecue. You're like, are we selling drugs or insurance? I'm not sure, right? And I mean, I always sold where I was going, not where I was. Does that make sense? Guys, and this is, maybe I got to come out here more and teach this stuff because this is simple.
Nobody knew, like nobody taught us any of this.
Well, I'll talk to Ange about it and go through it with her.
Just a quick question, just because you know you said like WFG,
Yeah.
Primerica. So a lot of people are using that kind of technique right now. So usually when you go up to other people, they're like, "Is this WFG? Is this Primerica?"
Yeah, and then you get to say no.
Then you get to say no and be like, "Okay, well, you're recruiting me for the same reason they are. How are you different?"
Yeah, but so is Sun Life, and so is Clarica, and so is everybody else. Every insurance industry agency is recruiting.
Yeah.
Period. Like there's not a gray area. The question is, what are you offering them? So we're going to offer you in-class training. We're going to offer you the ability to get a fast start bonus of $5,500 that apparently you didn't know about. You know, all of these things that we're going to offer you, nobody else is offering. Nobody's offering a field recruiting bonus to anybody. And it's not just that. I'm going through the little part. You also get 2 years overrides. Do you know, okay, here's a number. And guys, I don't have the PowerPoint here to give it to you, but I can get it sent out. If you got 6 go to class, come out of class per quarter in a year, You make, I think it's $98,000 your first year, and you never sold a policy. So Paul's the sales rep. Paul says, I never want to sell. Ever heard this before? Does anyone ever say that to you? Great, Paul, no problem. Get 6 recruits per quarter to go to class, come out of class, let a sales leader manage them, and you make 98 grand your first year. Then you make 78 your second year, and I think it's 64 your third year, because there's 2 years of residuals on those people, even if you had nothing to do with it. 2 years of overrides. You never sat at a sale. You didn't manage them. You didn't deal with their crazies. You didn't deal with them wanting to quit. You didn't deal with them like doing something stupid in the field. None of that stuff. See, one of the biggest problems I think in our company, and Paul, you're validating for me, is we don't understand the compensation program and how big it is. You can literally make a 6-figure income here, and it stacks, right? Paul, think about this. So if this is year 1, if you continue, and that's only getting 6 per quarter, if year 2 you did it again, then you got the residual from the previous year, so now it's 178. Then it's 164, but then there's still more residuals adding. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and you don't sell. You're a professional recruiter. The person that got the biggest, and this is paid per quarter, in this company is my ex-wife, Michelle. She got $19,000 in a quarter on field recruiting bonuses. Her first year as a single mom here, she made $170,000, all overrides. She didn't go in the field.
You said you can make that kind of money without selling a single policy.
Correct.
So how is the company making money?
Because somebody else is selling those policies. Right? So somebody else is selling the policies. So think about it. Okay, who's a sales leader in here? If I could give you 6 recruits that have 6 personal references and 6 appointments booked, that's 36 appointments for you to do in a month. Would you be okay with that? Would you be mad? No. So he's going to make 25% on 36 grand, assuming it's $1,000 in APV each. But you're also going to get the field recruiting bonus and a 2% override on all of it as well. For nothing. It doesn't come out of his pocket. Doesn't hurt him. Combined pays it all out. He doesn't go from 25% override to 23. We pay it. It's all part of the premium pie.
So who pushes the policies? The guys like me that...
No, not you. You're the, listen, there's called a bird dog, the one that goes get the bird, that's you. You're going to go get him, and he's going to sell them. You're done. Your job is to field recruit. See, you got to be a certified recruiter to go through this whole process, but you don't need to be a certified recruiter to field recruit. Anybody can go get a name. So let's say, Paul, you say, I'm going to partner and you're going to be my sales leader and take care of all these people for me. Maybe one day I'll be a sales leader. Maybe I'll never be a sales leader. I don't really care. I just want that quarterly bonus, right? That's it. I just want a $5,500 bonus plus the overrides. That's all I want, right? And you guys make that agreement. You go and get the names and numbers and you pass them. I'm assuming you're a certified recruiter. If you're not certified, names. I built my whole business by partnering with people who were name bringers, not salespeople. I did just the opposite of everybody else. See, I became a good salesperson because I knew most wouldn't. But what I did know is most people know people or meet people. And they'll give me their names. A person's way, way more inapt to give you a name and number than to give you a sale. Because it means they don't have to do anything. Hey, Paul, how are you? It's Ray Young calling. Good friend of yours, Joe, gave me your name and number. He says you're ambitious and outgoing. Is that true about you? Yes, it is. If I could show you how to make a 6-figure income, would you keep your options open or are you married to your job? Keep my options open. So when can I meet you for a coffee? I understand you live in this area. Starbucks around the corner. What's better for you, Tuesday or Thursday, 7 or 9? You see, I don't need to memorize scripts, right? I got it. Okay? So, guys, I was just a machine. Remember, what did I tell you the most important thing is? And every person that gives me list, it's not mine. But I don't steal anything from anybody. And you know what I love about this company? Is everybody gets compensated. See, in Primerica, if you gave me your list, I got all the money. Right. You got nothing. Yeah, you got screwed. Yeah. That's why I don't work for there. They stole people's markets. That's how they build their business. WFG, same thing. We don't. We say, Paul, if you know somebody, we'll pay you. We're the only company, only one in the industry doing that. Only one. Correct. None of them. None of them. We're the only one doing it. So take pride in that. Yeah.
So Ray, in that example, you're showing 6 people. Do you actually write those clients under your business, or?
No, not if you're the name getter. You just leave it alone. You're done. You don't care.
Okay, just do your part.
Yeah. There's many ways to do it. See, okay, so if it was you two, pick on these guys, right? And let's say Paul's not under you guys decide to partner. You may say, Paul, all these guys that come in, right? When I'm done training them and they get their 5 personal sales in that they have to, you get the override on those ones, right? That 25%. He could pay that back to them on their personal sales. You know what we refer to as internal consumption. One of the things, that rule that we have that you have to do 5 sales before you can sell yourself, I made that rule. You might go, why'd you make that rule? I go, because I worked in Primerica and WFG. And what I learned, I recruit Paul, and Paul's my buddy, and now Paul's going to help me win a trip. And he writes up a bunch of bogus crap. 2 months later, falls off the books. What I figured out, if a person can get 5 sales in under their belt that has nothing to do with their brother, cousin, or brother, mother's sister, aunt, uncle, then I know they're legit. I made that rule. Because I recruited 10,000 people. If you think I didn't get lots of chargebacks, you're crazy. Okay? If you think I didn't have a lot of people get compliance problems, more crazy. You get it? So these were all built out of things I've learned in my career. Okay? But where the sale goes, see guys, I built my office. When I built my office, it looked a little bit like this. We had a philosophy, a team philosophy. And the team philosophy was, let's just get it closed and we'll figure it out later. But we had a very authentic group. Nobody stole people's commissions. We weren't like the rest of Primerica. We always, as long as it was legal, we commission shared. Right? This province, commission sharing is legal, right? As long as the person's licensed. Got it? So Alberta, Ontario, those rules are very clear. So Paul says, Ray, you can have them all. Just, give me a referral on some of it so I get a little more than just the recruiting bonus. Wouldn't you agree? Again, if you got 36 new face sales, you didn't have to do the work to get the names. Guys, the bird dog is the person, the one, but most people you recruit have a list. And the reason why they don't give you the list is because you didn't sell them on this and what they were going to do with it. Everybody will give you the list if you're going to pay them $5,500 for it. Make sense?
Where does the $5,500 come from?
Field recruiting bonus. Yeah. If you don't have the program, get Mike or reach out to Mike or to Tony and Angie. The program. Yeah. Yeah. Guys, more questions? Yeah, at the back? Guys, just one meeting for a sec. Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, you said that even if you're not active in the field and just do recruiting and recruit people, does that make you an inactive agent?
No, because you're being paid.
You don't get a letter?
The way you're inactive is when you don't get commissions. So when we see, the way my report shows, you're red or you're green. If you got a check, you're green. It doesn't tell me where you got the check from. Make sense? There is a line where we can check that you've been out of field, but if you're getting paid on recruits, we will let you stay forever. Ave. Okay? Yes?
How do you qualify to become a recruiter?
Okay, great question. She asked, how do you become a certified recruiter? Get Mike Greco, get Angie to say, Mike, come in and do a certification, which I know Mike has planned. So what I just gave you, I've just put this in a workbook. It's a 30-page workbook, no, 42-page workbook. Actually, I'm going to Vancouver to do this. Mike is doing it with his whole regions. And every script, everything, all the verbiage keeps spilling out of my mouth is already written in a workbook. Every script. Yeah, every single script. Actually, if you want to, can one of you guys go in Tony's office? My knapsack's there. Can you grab it? Can you? In the very back one, you'll see kind of a combined folder that's purple. I'll give you guys, show it to you quickly. And I spent literally 1,000 hours writing this for you guys because I'm tired of doing this and have people go, well, I didn't know. Well, okay, then I'll give you the verbiage and I'll give you the instructions. So this way, once Mike has done all that, you will have the workbook. So when next time I come and go say, I don't know, I'll show you the workbook and you go, yeah, I got that workbook. Yeah. We're supposed to read it. Oh, thank you. That's a whole new thing. So it's actually a 2-day session, but the RMs will do the 1-day session for now. The other day I have to do. So this is what it looks like, guys. And every script, every response, everything is in here. And if you'll see all the highlighted words, it's a fill in the blanks. So when it's being taught to you, you'll be filling those blanks in. So if you don't pay attention, your book sucks. You'll be like talking to. So Bob, listen, we're expanding. I don't. Bob, I have to call you back. I'm missing a word here. Right? So Mike's doing these.
That's what Angie alluded to in our last meeting, actually.
Yes. Yeah, she knows it's coming. So, and guys, that'll help you guys a lot. But listen, I mean, I'll be very, very frank with you. I mean, we've had a great run here. Let me kind of hit some of the numbers so you guys have them, and then we get kind of into the how and whys and stuff in a second. So I came in here in May of 2013. I know some of you guys have been in my training, seen this. And since that time, when I came in, there was 212 licensed reps from Ontario to BC left. That's all that was left in combined. Ontario to BC. And they, in 2012, which was the year before I started, they did 6.7 million in APV. Last year, which was 2017, we finished with 1,301 reps, 4.5 years later, and did 30 million in APV. That's what my systems do, and people have barely adapted to them. See, you got to remember, my business was in Ontario when I was in Primerica, and I had 482 licenses in my district. And half of them had securities license. I had $250 million under management, 32,000 life clients. When I did training, no offense, this is a joke. 350 people showed up to my trainings. And that's Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I could literally call an emergency meeting on a Friday afternoon and say, be in my office at midnight. 350 people would show up on a Friday night at midnight. I did it all the time. Right? I was taught by Art Williams. Art Williams may not like Primerica, but he was a genius leader. That guy was something. So this is what we've accomplished. But this past, honestly, 3 months has been horrible. Worst run we've had since I've been here. Don't know?
Well, it's because we've been taught the old ways. Like, I was looking at it
Yeah.
last night, I'm like, this is hard. It's hard to close people. Nobody's going to want to buy these products, and most of the time they're like, I'm covered, fuck off, I'm covered. And I'm like, there's got to be
You
a
deal with
more
people that aren't very
wonderful-
nice.
It's like,
Funny, I went in the field a couple weeks ago. Sashiko, that's one of my managers, had a real estate agent because she just moved out there, so I got to keep looking at my watch because I really have to stay on time today. And I don't want to miss, there's some key stuff I want to close up with today. I don't want to miss it. So I go on this appointment. I don't go in the field ever now, like once in the blue moon. So if I'm out here and you said, Ray, if you lined up a day full of appointments, I'd take you out for a whole day, and I'll close everything. No one says nobody. No, if you say no to me, you're dead. You're already dead, right? Or bankrupt, one or the other. So anyway, so I'm on this appointment, and I sit down with this couple, nice couple. He makes about $30,000 a month as a real estate agent, so he makes good money, but he's an independent contractor. She makes 80 grand a year in admin. No coverage. He's 50 years old, and so on. And no, he's about to be 50 years old. It was 10 days before his 50th birthday, which means the return of premium DAP STPs go up. So it was a simple conversation. I go, listen, guys, there's 3 parts to your plan. I'll show you how I close it. Simple. I closed 15,000 new face, by the way. And this was cold canvas through a real estate agent that Sashiko did. So I sat down with them. They were already spending $500 a month on life insurance. So I just moved that over into better life insurance because their life insurance was horrible and added the difference to a CI that they didn't have. Then I sold them on having some of the hospital essentials because he needed it. He's self-employed. He's got no coverage. But this is where the rubber meets the road. He was about to hit his 50th birthday, and the max DAP STP or whatever they call it now, doesn't matter, was going to be right now $696 a month with full return of premium. But he's about to turn 50, and it was going to go up like $150 a month, right? So I see him, and I say, listen, I got to see you before July 6th, before your birthday. Because if you go forward with this, you're wanting to go forward now. And he says, okay. So when I sold it to him, I said very simply, this is a no-brainer. We're giving you better value, and we've added CI for the same cost. He agreed. He was term versus term, CI, all that stuff. He agreed. Hospital made sense, because ironically enough, his brother-in-law had just died of Lou Gehrig's disease, who also was a real estate agent. But the difference is he had disability insurance, and his family was fine. Right, and this guy has none, and he knows if he lost his 30 grand a month, they'd have trouble. And I go, this is different though. I go, I want you to think of this $700 a month as savings, not insurance. I go, 20 years from now, you'll be 70. His wife's name's Ada. I look at Ada. I go, Ada, when Rob is 70 and she was going to be 66, I go, would you like to go on a cruise? She goes, yes. I go, if you want a 6 months cruise, probably going to be about 50, 60 grand. She goes, yes. I go, well, why don't we start a savings program for today and have a little insurance attached to it just in case something else goes wrong? And they go, yes. And then when I left, because I didn't do the paperwork, they reiterated, because it's like a lot of money. And then Haley literally said, no, listen, remember, that $696 a month is a forced savings program. It's your cruise, Ada, remember? And she goes, yeah, that's right, the cruise. Right? Does he need that coverage? Yes, it's 0 day, accident sickness is only $2,000 a month. We also gave him, oh, I forgot, we gave him $5,000 in income guard as well, per month. But you understand? See, when I go to the kitchen table, I'm looking to create a value proposition. You see, I bought insurance my whole life. My daughter was really sick when she was like from 10 to age 18, and she had life insurance. And I paid $250,000 to take her to Arizona to a medical treatment plan because OHIP didn't cover the stuff we needed here. What if she had a max hospital plan? She was in intensive care for 45 days. It wouldn't have been my $250, would it? Would have been combined $250. But nobody taught me the most important insurance you'll ever own is the one that insures your pay. And I know you guys work here, you know that, but don't miss it. I mean, everything that we have, your heat, your hydro, your food, your entertainment, your car, your boat, your medications are paid for with money. If you take your ability to make money away, all those go away. So retirement can't be first, because if you get sick or injured, you ain't putting money in retirement. Life insurance can't be first, because if it comes down to canceling your life insurance or your hydro, life insurance goes first. So you put this as the foundation of financial services. Now we're finally doing what's right with the consumer. And we're the only company that our core products are accident and sickness. Only company in the industry. Everyone else wants to sell you life and CI and all that. And CI is great, but the hospital coverage is incredible because of the waiting periods. Yeah. Guys, more questions about this stuff? So let me just go over here for a second because I don't want to run out of time. So I said the list. So the why is simple because the list leads to this, and the how is 6 personal references unrelated to you. It's simple. Guys, I need this team to step up because you can, and I know you have the will to. And you need to start focusing on your own independence and leadership. You have some beautiful offices in here, and some of you sales leaders are going to take great pride in this. But taking pride in having something nice, it's way better to have a pot of money. So that crappy house I told you about that I lived in this place called South Oshawa, I lived there while I was making $250,000 a year and banked $1 million in cash. Why did I do that? Because I learned a lesson. And I learned that liquidity is better than stuff. So you can tell me about your new house, your new car, the fancy boat. I'll just show you my investment statements instead. It's honest. I believe in financial independence. That's what I believe in. I believe in living beneath your means. You know, I bought a new house. It's a $3 million house on 100 acres. And now I'm spending $300,000 on it because I live beneath my means. Who buys a new house for $3 million and spends $300,000 on it? I'm adding 3 bathrooms and a pool and, you know, tennis court and a mini golf. Because why wouldn't you have those things? Right? But 28 years ago, I moved in with my mom after a bankruptcy, and I literally spent a year of my life going to a pawn shop feeding my children. That's not stage talk, guys. It was a horrible time in my life. I cried a lot, and I'm born and raised a devout Catholic. Like my immediate family have 8 nuns and 3 priests, so suicide was off the table. But me and God talked about it a lot, I'm going to tell you, and I'm like, dude, right? I think God has a sense of humor. I really do. If you don't think he does, look at your life. There's no way God's not sitting up there with Jesus going, watch this. And for some reason, I seem to be the focus. I just don't know why. You know, some of you guys would feel the same way. I really need your help. As an organization and the talent and the number of people in this organization, I need you to get uncomfortable. First of all, check your own backyard. Are you properly covered? Is your family properly covered? You know, did you do the right thing? Or were you nervous? You know, my daughter, I have 2 daughters in this business with us, and Cassie really screwed up on an appointment. Was with a family friend, and she just assumed the family friend would just buy everything because she knows me and stuff like that. So she got shut down, right? And because the girl, Cassie just didn't know her stuff. But I commend Cassie. You know what Cassie did, Paul? After she got shut down, went home, studied everything. We were still using Big Blue at the time, pulled Big Blue apart, put it all over her mom's dining room table, rewrote everything in her own words, right? Called this girl back up, Catherine, Catherine, listen, I apologize. She goes, what? For what? I was completely unprepared for an appointment, and I'm asking you to let me do another one. Went back in, did $220 a month, NuFace. Because she was prepared. But see, most of us, when we fail, we walk away with our tail between our legs. Hey, you know what? You know what is really great about going through a bankruptcy and divorce and having your life fall apart? You learn that humility and the ability to ask for help is a necessity if you want to have a great life. I learned that if you want something, ask for it. Because no's don't kill. They don't kill. You'll live. No one's going to die because your friend said no to you. No one's going to die because your friend decided they don't want to be your friends with you because you sell insurance. Move on. You know? Guys, we got to take this to the next level. You know, you guys got this beautiful place to build a business to. I'd be so proud to say, hey, meet me in my office. Here's the address. I can do the interview with you there. That's way better than meeting at Tim Hortons. Man, I can remember doing appointments out of my trunk like a drug dealer. There's a place in Toronto called Jane and Finch. Not a good place. And I was training this guy, Billy. Billy was this short Greek guy, classic mafia type, driving a Mercedes, right? And we're going to meet this guy, Ito. Ito, the name says it all. 6'6", big, huge black guy, linebacker. He's a monster, right? So Billy's driving, and we pull in this parking lot. I go, where's the appointment? He goes, it's here. I go, here, where? He goes, in the parking lot. At Jane and Finch? I go, so we get out, and Billy has a briefcase. Who has a briefcase anymore? And puts it on the back of the trunk. Ito gets out, and again, he is a classic, huge, wonderful black, like his hands were like this big. He gets out, he goes, hey, Billy. And we're standing at Jane and Finch where every drug deal in Toronto goes on. 2 white guys in a Mercedes with a big black guy. I was just waiting for SWAT to come and surround us. Right? But I'll tell you, man, that guy was a great recruit. Because let me tell you something. He'd say, Ray, I'm booking you all day Saturday or all day Sunday. And we're supposed to go see Paul, right? And he calls Paul, and Paul goes, no, man, I'm out. I forgot. So then he calls his cousin, right? Calls up his cousin, Tony. He goes, Tony, listen, man, I need a favor. I've got this guy, Ray, with me, and I'm supposed to do an appointment, and Paul let me down. I'm coming to your house right now. But he always prefaced it first. He was smart. He goes, what are you doing, man? And he'd go, nothing, man. I'm having a barbecue. Good. And then he'd go into it. And literally, he's on speaker, and the guy's going, no, don't come, man. It's Sunday. Don't come. I'm almost there. I'm in the driveway. And hangs up. And 15 minutes later, we're there. Because he wouldn't let me down. Because he knew my time was valuable. And that's where I invested my time with people. See, I've spent more time kind of with Angie's group than some of the other groups. Derek Chapman's group gets a lot from me. You know, Perry's got a lot from me. Mark Andrews got a lot from me. Why? Well, the busy people get the effort. I mean, guys, I oversee 1,400 people, 20 staff, corporate staff, you know, budgets, compliance, all kinds of stuff for this company. But here's the bottom line. This is it. Our company, to me, is the independent contractors. You are our company. You are the most important thing in our company. Bottom line. And it's not stage talk or podium talk. If you could put a microphone in a corporate room and stuff goes on, I am the ultimate defender of the field because I did this. Yes?
So, a lot of people who have come struck up with either your financial group or
Yep.
Amway.
Hmm?
Is there some special approach you take to them?
To people that have been recruited to other companies?
You want to get them over here?
Yeah, it's very simple. I go, the number one way to be successful in a business is to be unique. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
Because, you know, if everybody's doing what you're doing, then everybody's doing what you're doing. Now it's all something about price, yes? So we're the only company in the industry that's specialized in making sure people get their paychecks week in, week in, week in. Everybody else is chasing universal life, if it's WFG and stuff like that, universal life and mutual funds. We don't want to do that. We're going to make sure they can afford their universal life and their mutual funds. So do you want to be part of the 98% of the industry and compete with 98% of the industry, or do you want to come work with the 2.5 that's making the difference? That's what I would say.
Is that part of the script?
No, because nobody's asked me that question. But hope you recorded it.
I mean, with all that being said, you know, what if you have the, you know, our economy is not that great, right?
Right.
Now. So what if you have an economy fight, you know, in terms of...
You need to recruit them.
Okay, so let's say if you can't make the sale, then... Okay.
Yeah, recruit them.
All right.
Hey, so I can't afford it. Let's play it out. Just tell me you can't afford it.
All right.
Yeah, you can't afford it right now? Play it out with me. Tell me.
No, honestly, I can't afford it right now. I'm pretty strapped.
Yeah, I totally understand how you feel. I felt that way myself. What I found out is that sometimes in life we make the wrong decisions based on circumstances that we're currently in. And you would agree that paying your mortgage is important to you?
Oh, for sure, yeah. Definitely.
Having hydro?
Yeah, for sure.
Would you agree if you lost your ability to make money, both those things would go?
Yeah.
So there's a couple options we have. We could start a small plan today because that just makes sense. You know, would you agree that you probably waste 12, 20, 30 bucks a month on different things?
Yeah, I would.
Even being tight. So why don't we get a plan started today? Then let me take that 30 bucks you're wasting, and I'll start a plan today for the 30. But why don't you come and look at working with me? Because I can show you how to make 100 grand a year and completely changing your life. Would you want to do that?
Of course, if I want to do that.
You would not be laid off anymore?
Yeah, for sure.
Not downsized anymore?
Yeah.
Then why don't you take a chance and come work with me? If it fails, you're no worse off. If it works, I change your life.
Sure, why not?
That's why people say yes to me, because that's how I talk to them. Is it sincere? It is sincere. Because I know I can change your life. You want to know why? I've changed hundreds, not thousands. Could change thousands. But a lot of people say X and do Y. And I can't work with people who say X and do Y. See, my word is everything. I'm anything but perfect. I screw up all the time. Clearly, I've been married twice. I clearly don't have that together. But I'm a good man. I'm a great dad. As far as I'm concerned, I'm one of the best fathers that will ever walk the planet. I have 4 daughters who have high self-esteem. They're outgoing. And all I knew growing up and building my family, and because you know when you're in your 20s, you're a kid, man. You don't think you are, but you are, looking back now. I just wanted my girls never to have self-esteem issues because of me. Because I learned that girls with low self-esteem sleep with boys with high self-esteem, and my girls have never gone through any of that. They're strong young women. And I'm proud that I look them in their eyes when we speak. My children never had to say daddy twice. They said daddy, they were acknowledged. No problem, sweetie, just give me a second. Or, yes, sweetie, right to her eyes. You know, I treat my business people like that. I care. I care. You know, I want you to have a great life. And you said it, it's hard, man. I never said it wasn't gonna be hard, Paul. It's still gonna be hard. You just, you know, up your skill level a little bit. Okay, I'm a horrible golfer, but when I go to the golf range, I'm better. You get it? I used to play squash a lot with my 2 brothers. My older brother was a professional athlete, the university scholarship for hockey in Michigan, drafted by Boston, you know, great hockey player. My younger brother, okay hockey player, bit of a hack. Play squash with him, I'm shit. Play squash with my older brother, I'm great. Because you play to the level you compete at. Make sense? So my game got up because I played with my older brother. Well, I'm no different, right? I could play them back to back, and I have a rougher, crappier game against Clint because he's not as good as Norm. So I had to play harder to play Norm. Does that make sense? And that's what you got to do. You got to level your game up. You got to practice, drill, and rehearse. Practice, drill, and rehearse. You got to go home, get in front of a mirror. You got to get on the phone. You got to give everybody a chance to say no to you. And I used to say to that people all the time, hey, Paul, it's Ray. How are you, man? He goes, great. Hey, listen, I got to give you a chance to say no to me because I know in about 5 years from now when I'm financially independent and you ask me how I did it, you'll wish you joined me now. So I'm giving you a chance to join me now or regret it in 5 years.
What is your best response, for example, if said, oh, I'm not a salesperson, I'm shy.
Totally understand how you feel. I felt that way myself. Here's what I found out, that being financially independent doesn't actually dictate the type of personality you are. Do you want to be financially independent?
Yes.
Is it more important you be financially independent than to be concerned about what people think about you?
Of course, yes.
Great, let's get together. We're going to figure out how to make this work for you one way or the other.
They're gonna be like, is this Amway? No. Is this WFG?
Yeah, no.
No.
No. I love when people mean. Do it. Somebody give it to me.
Is this pyramid?
Yeah, I don't know what you mean.
What is this about?
What? Multi-level?
Multi-level marketing. Oh yeah, no, it's not multi-level marketing. But last I heard, pyramids are in Egypt. I don't even know what you're talking about.
This is an insurance.
And it makes people laugh. Just the way it is. Somebody else had something else there?
Yeah, just insurance.
Insurance? Yeah, it's financial services. Actually, not traditional insurance. So nobody wants to sell life insurance. You want to sell life insurance?
No.
Oh, good. Yeah, I don't want you to sell life insurance either. Good. Whew. I was really worried for you for a second there, my friend.
But you said it's insurance.
Yeah, of course.
What kind of insurance?
It's insurance that makes sure that you don't lose your house. You want to lose your house? Well, if I can make sure that you don't lose your house, would you agree that that's the type of insurance you want to own?
Life insurance.
I understand, but do you like your house?
Yes.
Do you want to keep it?
Yes.
Well, let me show you how.
I don't have time right now.
Oh, totally understand. It's okay if you don't have time right now. Just remember, though, if you don't take the time now and something goes wrong and you lose your house, you'll think about me.
But what if they say, I'm good, I'm good.
Totally understand. Most people that think they're good probably aren't. You know, do you know what it actually would cost to take care of you if you were sick or injured? Interesting. I heard my daughter on a phone with a lead card. One of my favorite calls I ever heard. She was in our dining room, and I was going to do, and it was a week before Christmas. Nobody wants to do appointments before Christmas. So the guy did the classic, I'm good. It's on speakerphone because she was training somebody. And Haley goes, oh, perfect. Explain to me what you're covered for right now then. He goes, I don't really know. Yeah, she goes, we get that a lot, and I apologize. I didn't want to offend you, but I'm concerned because I am looking at your coverage, and you're not properly set up. And if something happened through the holidays, you could lose your house. So do you want me to pop over tomorrow? Yeah, you could just pop over if you're going to be in the area. Exactly how it went. So again, guys, it comes down to commitment. Okay, and I got 2 minutes left because I really got to be on time. I fly at 12:45. So listen. Pizza's going to come, and you guys are going to eat it, and I'm going to pay for it. What I do need, can somebody get an attendance sheet to go around quickly for me? Okay, because I'll need that for my expense report. But here's what I want you guys to consider. This is yours. It's your business. It's your opportunity. And Paul, you said it best. Man, it's not easy, but you just got to up your skill level. You know, the thing that I'll close with is I'm a private pilot, and when I was doing my flying lessons, I couldn't get it. I would bunny hop down the runway. I could fly, I could take off. It's landing. And landing's kind of important, you know, right? And there was this guy, Gord Craig, never forgot him, nice guy. He was my instructor. And he said, Ray, the problem is I'd go once a month. So you do ground school. So every Tuesday night I went to the ground school, right? But once a month I'd go and fly. He goes, as long as you're only coming once a month, you're never going to get it. My learning adaptation, I need repetitive learning. I'm one of those people. Show me something 10 times in a short period of time, I own it. Show me something 10 times over the course of a year, I don't remember that you even showed me. That's why I learned. He goes, you need to come once a week, and it was expensive. That's why I didn't fly once a week. He goes, but you'll never fly. So then I did what he said. I invested the money, went once a week. 4 weeks later, I did my solo and got my license. Well, why was that? Because I needed that repetitive nature. And that's why I tell people, the only thing I know for sure, I don't care who you are, the more you do something in a shorter period of time, the better adaptation you have for it. So we need you guys to be, man, I know Tony and Angie are away this week with their family, good on them. But this is you guys. This is you. It's your business.
You can come down more often.
Yeah,
Because
I'll
none
try.
of this is like when we all went through like training school, like sales school. It was like,
Teach you this stuff, yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
yep, show them the needs analysis, show them the needs analysis, and it's like a salesman's approach. And I'm like, last night I was talking to my wife. I'm like, there's got to be a more modern way to do this.
That's what I do.
You know what I mean?
And you probably see that now. And guys, I take a very casual approach at the kitchen table. I'm friends first. I do a lot of appointments on Sundays. That might be against some religious beliefs and stuff like that, so I never invoke those things. But why do you think I do them on Sundays? You want to know why? People are casual. They're laid back. They're not like looking at the clock going, I got to get my kid to bed, man. Right? That's why I used to do 70% of my production on a Sunday. I'd leave my house. We'd go to church in the morning. We did morning mass. And I'd leave right from church, and I work from 10 to 10. And why? Because people were home and they're casual. Yes? Do you have a question?
Yes.
Yes.
So it's a choice of, if we bring people into the meeting, it's a choice of being a sales agent and a
Sales leader?
recruiter, right?
Yeah. You can be anything you want here and still get paid is my point.
So once we get into that training,
Yeah.
we were taught how to do the sale.
Yeah.
I think we should ask Angie if we wanted to become a,
Yeah, sales leader and builder or recruiter.
yes, because we don't have that, yeah.
Yeah. Talk to Angie about that. And she'll do it. I mean, she wants everybody to be a builder. All the money's in building, guys. I'm going to tell you that right now. If you think you don't want to recruit, you're crazy. Recruiting is way easier than selling.
Forget that. I want to be like you.
Because of build,
Well, there you go. But yeah, you know, funny, people say that to me. They go, well, I want to be a public speaker. I go, yeah. I'm actually writing a book right now with Les Brown. It's my 4th book, and which I'm very excited about. There's actually 12 authors. We all do a chapter. I just finished mine on Friday. And that was my dream, you know, to go teach and train and develop and do this. I love this. But the way you get to do this is go through the shitstorm of life like I did and get rich. Because I have credibility. At the end of the day, whatever you think of me before I get on the stage, you know, like when you like if you hear me on webinars and stuff, then I show up here, you go, I thought he'd be taller and thinner. You people aren't nice at all, right? I mean, but it is so true. People go, huh, I thought you'd be way taller. Whatever, right? Because we get a preconceived notion of what we think something is, but once I start, it's like my daughter Cassie. For those who've met Cassie, she's 23 and she looks like she's 12. She's this beautiful little, and she opens her mouth at the kitchen table, it's over. Because her knowledge is so vast. You understand what I'm saying? So, and that's what happens when you go and, you know, practice up, level up your skills, you know, and that's how you do it. And everyone can do it, guys. When I came in this business, I'll close with this. My first public speech I ever did, so I was doing well, right? So the guy that was running the office when I was in Primerica goes, we're going to get ready to close the op night. Okay, I'm ready. Worst speech in world history. They had a podium I stood behind because I swear I was going to pee my pants. And I had to hold on to it because I was shaking so much. Worst speech in world history, to the point the other reps in the office said if Ray ever speaks again, we all quit. True story. Then I took a year and I started studying public speakers. Found the ones I liked. Their verbiage, their mannerisms, how they worked, how they walked, how they talked. You notice I connect with all the room. I keep going back and forth, right? I watch and I learn. I'm going, I like how that guy does that. I like how that guy does. And then I watch it over. And like listening to a song. If you want to learn a song, you want to learn the words, just put it on repeat about 8, 10, 12 times. Now you know the song. Public speaking works the same way. Doing a sales presentation works the same way. I recorded myself doing my presentations, would drive on my way to an appointment and listen to myself over and over and over again. Best person to learn from is you. So I got to wrap up there, guys. Pizza should be here soon. I know it's not here yet, Colin. Yep.
Ray, where we can get that?
That'll come when Mike does the training.
Okay, and can we have your 5 minutes to have sales leader talk to you before you leave?
Yeah, let's do it right now. Okay, well, we're doing waiting on the pizza. So let's do it. How's your PMA?